What's going on, everybody? This is 40B Nasty. I'm here to show you an update with my tank. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, and I apologize for that. I just kind of got a little bit turned off from it from doing the videos, and when I'm editing it, they don't give us any music. And I like the music in the backdrop because then it kind of drowns out any of the tank noise or water noise or just any kind of room noise. But I'm going to show you around the tank what's new and who's gone, things that I've traded in and stuff that I just wanted because it was awesome. So here we go. I'll start off with the fish. One of my fish that I lost last year was my yellow and purple wrasse, also known as a 4-spot. Well, I ended up picking up a red line. That was one of my last videos that I did before the filtration one, I believe it was. And there he is around the top. This guy is a giant now. Look at the size of him. He's beautiful. He takes care of my rock work. He's been kind of like the alpha of the tank. Garfield sits behind him and kind of makes sure he gets all the food that he's getting. And they're buddies, honestly. They've been just great. And since I had lost Banana and I picked him up, well, about 8 months later, I ended up losing my Carberry Antheus. He was 2.5 years old. I heard they don't live very long, honestly. So I guess that was inevitable. And then I lost my Gramicoline dartfish, Ace, and he was the oldest in my tank. He was 4.5 years old. So I was really bummed out about that. And I've been kind of searching around. I was going to get a storm clown longfin. And then I ended up going with a chalk bass. It's one of the cheapest bassilets in the hobby. And I gotta say, it's kind of underrated. If you see him, it looks like he's got white stripes on the top, but they're actually like electric blue. It just sometimes the camera doesn't pull it off very well. And we all know this from trying to show pictures of our corals. We always go, oh, it doesn't look right, it doesn't look the same. Well, that's what this fish is pretty much on camera. Those purple and blue spots on the side are really nice too, but he's been an awesome addition to the tank. I did have him in a 5-gallon observation tank for a while, and about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, it was 2 weeks, I'm sorry. And then I just noticed that he was just eating like a pig, and I know I jumped the gun throwing him in the tank, but I just had a good feeling about him, so I put him in. You know, I probably should have waited 2 months. The tank was all set up. It was perfectly running fine. I had a nice block of Marine Pure in there, power head, heater, you name it, this guy had it. You know, he even had a nice little cave to hang out in. But he's been doing awesome since I put him in. The guys haven't bullied him at all, which is a nice thing. That was my biggest fear because, I mean, you can see how small he is in comparison to all the other 4 fish, which is a green Mandarin Dragonet. I got, which won't definitely bother him, but it's these 2 right here that might. But as you can see, he gets out of their way and they really don't mind him. See? And that's awesome. So that made me pretty happy. And when I first put him in, actually, Garfield, who I figured would have been the worst, the Flame Angel, he just kind of looked at him like, oh, hey, what's up? And I was like, awesome. And then I got Gilbert, my blue spotted jawfish. He's just being a little ham, hanging out, pulling sand out from anywhere he possibly can and putting it behind him on the rocks. It's just what he does. And I did crack up some more live rock to give him for toys to play around with, and he's enjoying it. Alright, now off to the corals. As you can see, my tank has definitely changed around. I'm going to show you a little bit around the tank. This is one of my newest pieces, and it is a neon green tip wall hammer, and I got it for a good price. This thing glows like you would not believe in my tank. I absolutely do not need a light to have this thing accentuate its colors. It is amazing. I mean, what you see on video, like I said, it's not what you see in real life. That thing is awesome. These Florida Recordia rainbows, they're really nice, doing well, healthy. Definitely need more rock because it's filled it out. I got these orange discosomas filling up my tank everywhere. They're floating around. I don't mind them because I'm not snobby like that. I do enjoy that mushroom, and for some reason it's just a, you know, check it out. Just a big colony of fluorescent orange. It's kind of nice, and that's been growing out great. And I've kind of been on a discosoma kick, so I got Interstellar. I got a Superman. That thing's got about like 5 right there. And there's like a small one down on the ground right there. And there was another one floating around somewhere too. I don't mind this. This is nice. And then I have this Jawbreaker. And I've only had it for a year. And this thing's already popped out a couple babies. It's got 3 of them on the side. One of them's looking really nice right now, actually, as we speak. I haven't seen it opened up that big. My Zoas, I traded in a colony that was almost twice the size of that. And that's what got me this beautiful orange hammer. And I got a Yuma. And that thing has been doing really well in that new position. And if you can see right there, it spit out a baby. I had just chipped it off the rock and then started its own rock, so it had plenty of room and light to grow. Had a little bit of algae issue in the back. You can see my blue hornets. They're not looking too good. I started off with 3, then I ended up with 9, and then with the algae, it just killed it all off. So that kind of stunk for me. But you can see my zoas are coming across on the top. We got a nice little garden going. I'd like to get some of that algae removed so we can have some room to grow. I do have a verminid snail issue. Those things are everywhere in my tank. I use some bumblebee snails and they're taking care of them, but you can see all those little spikes on that rock. The coralline's covered over them. It's actually kind of killed them, I think. But I got about 10 bumblebee snails in here trying to take care of those. I gotta say they actually have been working. I know people say it takes a little bit of time for them to really dig in and kind of make a little bit of an impact. Well, I think I've already started seeing the impact of it, which is nice. And you really want to keep those at bay because they cast out a mucus net and that can actually irritate your corals and sometimes even kill it. So you want to take care of that as quick as possible. If you happen to see them in your tank, just try to chip them off down at the base because those things can be a pain in the butt. I mean, there's little spikes all over my tank and I try to run my hand along them just to break them off, the ones in the back. I can't really do anything about it without tearing down my whole tank. So this is what I'm dealing with. And one of my biggest fears and hates in this whole hobby, I got back in the beginning, which was aptasia. I started getting that stuff popping up on the rocks. Well, I noticed I've gotten a couple here and there. All I've been doing is just chipping off the rock. If you notice, there's a white little chunk missing right there. It's because I chipped that piece off. There was a piece of aptasia in there. I don't even bother with all the snake oils that are out there. I don't have a tank size that can handle one of the fish that takes care of aptasia. I don't want to have lettuce-eating nudibranchs because that guy will eat them probably. And I don't have that many, so they really won't survive. And I doubt they'll even find the aptasia by the time, it gets off to moving somewhere else. And I don't want it actually irritating the aptasia because then that can actually cause it to go into protect and procreate mode and spit out more aptasia, and then I have it all over my tank. So I'm just gradually praying that this thing will eventually just go away. I keep finding more and more, but I think I've had 4 within the last 4 months. So if I just keep chipping away maybe a little ounce of weight off my rocks, I can deal with that. It doesn't really upset me too well. As far as other things in my tank, like I said, I have this yellow greenish tip gold torch, not gold, but I do have a gold hammer. This thing has like 8 or 9 heads. The color on it is not very good. It kind of just decreased right when I first got it. So I've been just trying to pick it back up again. I did use the Red Sea AB Plus. I saw no results from that. And then now I'm trying fuel, which is I dose that once every 2 times a week, basically, once every 4 days. And usually Saturday and Tuesday is my days to get that stuff in the tank, and hopefully that helps out. But my roster's starting to grow in there because I have a bunch up there, and that is my favorite zoanthid of all time, hands down. I did get rid of all my frog spawns, but I did have one head hanging around because I actually broke it off, and I traded those frog spawns in for this beautiful Ultra War Paint Scully. I've always wanted one of these. I finally got one. I'm very happy, and it's a nice little corner piece for that cave with the mushrooms over there. This little guy, he's been really nice, like I said, since I put him in. I just gave him a little bump from behind to see if he would move. But he's just, I don't know, he's just a friendly little fish. I don't have any problem with him. He just kind of hangs out there. Then when it's nighttime, he pretty much goes back and forth across the top, shooting up around the top, going around in the current. It's nice. The tank's doing really well, guys, and I'm really happy with the way it's going. Hopefully I can just keep it going like this. If that algae gets a little bit more out of control, I might use a little more Reflux AD, maybe like a half a dose, and see what it does, because I really want to make sure that I keep that Bryopsis out, which I believe is completely gone, and basically keep it going and running kind of smooth like this. Right now my nitrates are a little high. They're at like 30 parts per million. I did just do a 10-gallon water change, which isn't really much. It's basically just diluting this tank because it's a 65 gallon. But just trying to get my tank dialed in. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is 40B Nasty out. Take care. See you soon. I do have another video coming up soon, and it is a amphipod tank straight out of the Atlantic Ocean. Picked up some weeds when I was fishing, and I was like, ooh, those are amphipods. So now I'm going to do a tank on those. It's been running for about 2-3 months now, but I'll give you a video on that pretty shortly. And as always, appreciate you watching. 40B Nasty out. Take care.